Greetings, hello everybody, and welcome to Tokyo. This is another live stream, and today we're going to be meeting my friend Dean Newcombe, who is a partner in crime on an NHK World, Journeys in Japan, but he's also got an adventure series called RunAway Japan, and we're going to be talking with him about traveling around Japan. We, both of us, have been just about, well, maybe everywhere between the two of us. So, let's just meet with Dean, who has his thing on there. There he is! Wait, that's Keiji. I see Dean right there. How you doing?
I'm gonna
slide in there. Mini-me.
Crazy audio there. So, I thought it would be more interesting today if I appeared with my stepson.
Yeah.
We've got Keiji.
How you doing, Keiji? So the channel that Dean has is called RunAway Japan, and you can see that on YouTube anytime. It's an adventure series, and we're going to take a look at some of the clips there. And also a video with Keiji, I think he might appear in an episode that we'll be showing you. But how are you guys doing? So far we are about a month into self-isolation. What's it like? What's it like where you live?
You know, actually, I feel we're quite fortunate. We're a family of four, and we've got each other, and so being locked down is not the worst thing at the moment for us. We've been enjoying. This guy's just started doing his schoolwork. I, like you, John, just have a million things always that I have to catch up on. So it's a good time to kind of self-reflect, right, and think about what's next. I'd actually just finished uploading all my content from season 1. So anyway, I was at this kind of crossroads about what is happening next. So it's come at an interesting time for me.
Yeah, this is an interesting time, a historic time for all of us that are self-isolating, making the best of it. And I'm so happy that both of you could join us today. So I met you, how long ago was that? Do you remember? It must have been like 5-6 years ago, it seems like.
Yeah, and I think the first time we met was because of our mutual reporting on NHK World, right? You'd seen me on Journeys in Japan, I'd seen you on Journeys in Japan, and we're like, hey, we should meet up one time. And I think you said, hey, I really like this place, Sangenjaya in Tokyo. And we met up there, and you took me to the batting cages, which is pretty interesting because as a British guy, I'd never really swung a bat before. So, yeah, it was a bit.
I think we also did some live streams that day, so we could go back and only in Japan Go, we'll be able to see some live streams from that day when we first met. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something like, my friend is making a crazy adventure series in Japan, and today is my friend made a crazy adventure series in Japan.
Wow, that takes us back a long time. How long have you been doing Journeys in Japan on NHK World?
Yeah, I think that I am now the most featured reporter for Journeys.
I'm pretty sure.
I've done about 14. Yeah. I mean, the pace has slowed down a little bit these days. I'm doing only, once or twice in a year. But keep doing them. I still really enjoy them. The directors of that program tend to come up with something that we haven't really seen before, or a new place that we haven't been, which is great for me because naturally I'm inquisitive to see places in Japan, and they always take me, someplace I might not have found on my own. So it's cool. Yeah,
I love that show because I've been doing Tokyo Eye since 2008, about 12 years. Not so much lately. I might be in an episode coming up soon, though. I'm not going to about self-isolation in Tokyo. But it was nice when I was invited onto this show that we could travel all over the entire country. I just saw that one of your episodes dropped about 2 weeks ago up in Hokkaido, Asahikawa. Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah. And it did. You're right. You're totally right. And I actually put it up on my Facebook, and I said in my comment, maybe the best Journeys in Japan ever, which has a lot of bias attached to it, right? Like, hey, I'm number one. But the reason I think that was really special is because I was actually a co-reporter.
I did. There was another reporter in there. Yeah.
Another reporter who was kind of the main reporter, and I was there kind of to, I guess, raise her up. Her name is Aki, and she's in a wheelchair. And the program basically focuses on the challenges of seeing Japan in a wheelchair, but what can still be achieved despite your physical condition. And so I thought, that was a really, really special episode because it goes beyond just a subject of travel, but also it has that kind of human element in it.
Yeah, I only saw about 5 minutes of it, but it looks really, really good. So that's available on playback on Only in Japan World, or the JIB TV website. You can't see that on YouTube yet. Nobody has illegally uploaded it to YouTube. Andrew Heft, thank you so much, Andrew. I'm doing fine. And in the last part of this live stream, I'll tell you, I'll take some of your questions, but I want to focus on Dean and his son Keiji. So Keiji, how old are you?
I'm turning to 7 years old this year.
Oh wow, 7.
Yeah, 7 really soon. In 1 week, 2 weeks.
1 week.
1 week.
No, 6 more days.
Oh, your birthday's in 6 days. Hey, happy almost birthday. Happy almost birthday. What do you want to do on your birthday?
Do
barbecue. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, we're trying to think of things that we can do at home, which would be, not something that we do every day. So we haven't done a barbecue yet, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to try and do that in the garden.
The weather is perfect for that. We've had some sunny days. It either is thunderstorms or it's so sunny and nice outside.
It's super nice today, huh? Yeah?
Yeah.
It is t-shirt and short weather. Kind of enjoy it there.
Yeah.
All over the country. Keiji, now you've been on some adventures with your father. You've traveled Japan, got a chance to hike the Sabakaido, which is from Obama City in Wakasu to Kyoto. How was that? Were you tired?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of hiking with your dad?
Exploring and making more friends.
Who did we make friends with?
One is a girl called Kokora.
Oh.
And one is a boy called Yuki.
Oh yeah. Where did we meet Yuki?
In the wild.
In the wild. The meeting of Yuki is pretty cool because it was the end of the first day, and the hardest bit of the Sabakaido, walking from the coast, is that you have to kind of climb up about 1,000 meters. So we did that. It was super hard to the top, and then we came down the other side into a little tiny mountain village, and that's where you met Yuki and his mum.
Yeah.
In a population of about 30 town, just a handful of houses that were all farming houses.
Wow.
And we became friends, didn't we?
Yeah.
They actually, you'll see it if you watch the video, but they actually save us from the bears and invite us to stay with them.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's one of those kind of typical, amazing Japanese hospitality stories.
Yeah, that's what makes us such an amazing country. Just things happen. When you go out on an adventure, when you don't plan it too much, things just happen. People invite you. It's like when I'm hitchhiking, people invite me to do homestays with them or take me to their favorite izakaya to eat some bizarre food. These things are just the unplanned portions of it is what makes it so memorable, I think. And that Sabakaido, I want to show some of the video of it. We have another video queued up, actually, but how were the signs? What was it like hiking the Sabakaido the way that it is today?
Actually, it's almost not signposted. So I have a good friend who told me about this hike, and he's done it many times, and he really recommended it to me. His name is Daniel, if he ever sees this, and I wanted to try it. And I did it solely off the back of his recommendation. But when I started doing it, I realized it's not something that people there's no real guidebook out there for it, especially in English. So there's very little information about it. And then when you're walking the route, there's not many signs telling you, well, in fact, there's almost no signs telling you where the route goes. That you can pretty much follow it. These days, it kind of skirts the main roads. So it used to be a kind of mountain path, and now they've put a main road in it. So it's a little bit like the Route 66 in America, where you still have the old roads, but you have the new roads now as well. And we skipped one small section where it went off the road just because of not knowing. Like, I'm kind of going up a winding road, and I've got now a path going into the mountains, which is just a single track, into the forest kind of. You can see it, you can picture it, right? And so we're thinking, without being able to read the kanji of what lies ahead, do we really want to risk going in there because we don't know where it comes out? So I stuck to the road and I went around, So
I think that's
perhaps if I was on my own.
That's the video. Sorry, that's the video that we have of you and Keiji that we have queued up for later, right? When you guys went on that trip. All right. Let's come back to this. First, I want to talk a little bit about your series called RunAway Japan. So if you go in and Google it, here you can see it on the bottom of your screen here, RunAway Japan. You have put up an entire TV series on YouTube. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's totally crazy. Yeah, totally crazy. Several years back now, I'm doing a bit of Journeys in Japan. I do a lot of kind of talent work and commercial work in Japan, and I'm thinking, I have this idea that I could make a TV show by myself or with a team of friends, and we could put that out, and it could be about all of the things that we enjoy. So in some ways, it's quite like the decision I guess you made originally when you started doing Only in Japan. Except for the vision that you were like, okay, I'm doing it for YouTube. I thought that I was doing it for TV. And we put it on a channel called J Sports in Japan, a cable channel, because it's very adventure-y, outdoory. It has I wouldn't really call it a sporting show, but it has some sports in it. And then we put it on a program called Catch Japan on NHK World. But if that was the only place I put it, and then I couldn't really say to anybody, hey, go and watch it. Here's the link. It was just kind of on TV, and that was it. It was over. That seemed super sabishi, so a bit sad. So I made the choice to put it on YouTube, basically starting last year. And then I uploaded until like a month ago.
Let's take a look at a clip of that, and then you can talk a little bit about this. I think when I open this window, it automatically starts. Yeah, there we go. The opening is so beautiful. Oh, is this it?
I don't see anything.
Wow, you put so much work into this. We're looking at the opening, the 3D animation of it, and now you guys are kayaking and hiking, and looks like you met a geisha, and then the shot of the toy. So we're looking at this right now. This is the actual series that you created for what was supposed to be TV, and then put this on YouTube, and anybody can now watch this for free. This is so cool. How many videos in total are on your channel?
Okay, so we got 11. Basically, there's 11 episodes, but I split them into 4 pieces. So that makes 44. Plus, I threw up some bonus videos here and there of other things that didn't make the final cut. So I think in total we probably got like 100 odd videos now. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of content.
And you broke each episode into part 1, part 2, part 3. So if you look through the YouTube series,
it was quite easy to do that because when I made them originally, I didn't know where we would air it. So it has a 4-part break system to it anyway, where you would normally put advertising.
Look a little scruffy there, Dean.
So it was quite natural.
You look a little scruffy there, Dean.
a bit different than today, right?
Wow.
So we're watching now. Episode 7 is the one you're showing. So the other thing about these episodes is I film them continuously, consecutively, back to back, no breaks. Episode 1 all the way through to episode 11, traveling Tokyo all the way to Shimane. So the reason I'm looking so scruffy is because we've now reached, where are we? We're in Wakayama at that point. And I've done probably, what have I done? About 30 days of travel. So I'm just lucky to still be alive, really, considering I've got from Tokyo to Wakayama by running, cycling, kayaking, hiking, and never using a train, bus, or
You're
car.
in pretty good shape, so you can do something like this, right? This is pretty adventurous.
It's adventurous, and it was hard. And at the time I made this show, also like probably the best condition I've ever been in, you know. And actually, by making the earlier episodes, I was slowly conditioning my body I was getting even fitter and fitter. So you're building up a little bit of fatigue, but you're also getting used to the fact that, like, on a daily basis, you'll ride 100 kilometers on your bike. You know?
Marty, I'm looking at some of the comments here. Marty writes in here, before social distancing. This was life, what it was like. You can go back in and take a look at Dean's adventure with his friends here. You actually climbed Mount Fuji in this series as well, right?
We did.
You climbed Mount Fuji in this series as well.
We start at Fuji, yeah. So back in the early days, we kind of tested the concept and did a little mission from Tokyo to Mount Fuji. And then when we realized that we were going to go for this and make season 1 and do 10, 11, 12 episodes of it, I thought, well, it's only fitting that we go back to Mount Fuji and we start at the top. So episode 1 is me making my way to the top of that as a backstory, and then episode 2 we officially kick off going, okay, we're at the top of Fuji, let's begin the adventure.
Oh, that's exciting. And this series, why did you make this? Basically, I know how. I'm one of the people who were there when you were just starting off with as an idea. So why make this? What did you want to do with this? What are you telling the world with this series?
I think, I wanted to show people a little bit of what I see from living in Japan. I traveled around quite a lot when I was in my early 20s doing modeling and stuff like that. And I ended up being in Japan, and I'm still here because I love the country so much, right? It's just an amazing country to live in. And even now, I'm learning about Japan all the time. It's like this big onion, and I just keep peeling off layers. And, you've been here even longer than me. It doesn't matter if you've been here 10 years or 20 years. It's so hard to, like, really understand this country, which for me, it makes it so fascinating. And I wanted to show Japan. So on the screen right now, we're looking at a Shindo dedication, and it's got history, it's got culture, but it's all from a point of view of me seeing it and who I am. So I like to have adventures. Yeah. I want to do things that people haven't done before. I want to also kind of push myself and find out what I'm capable of. And that doesn't mean just physically what I can do, but also I think mental strength was harder for making RunAway. And I think it's very similar to when you did your hitchhiking experience. To put yourself, you've got to challenge yourself to say, okay, I'm heading off and I'm going to be away for like 2-3 weeks or whatever length of time you choose. And I'm going to be on my own, and I don't know where I'm going to be staying tonight. You're putting yourself through a certain amount of discomfort. And then through that, you probably have some of the most amazing experiences you ever have. You find places you didn't know existed. You meet people that you didn't know existed. And you have an adventure. And for me, that's kind of what has kept me excited all my life. And I wanted to bring that kind of content to Japan, I guess.
I'm gonna run. Hold on a second. I'm gonna run the video in the background as we talk for a couple more minutes, just to show you a little bit about RunAway Japan. This is a series that you can watch on YouTube right now, and it'll probably how long is the entire series? Would you say, like, it's several hours?
If you watch all the videos. Well, I made a playlist for season 1, so you can like binge the whole thing. And I think it's about 5.5 hours.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like that. Just free content on YouTube that you can watch that's like television worthy. This is like watching an action adventure show with maps, detailed information about the places that you go to visit to, meeting with local people. This is exactly the kind of content that I love to watch on TV, actually, and it's here on YouTube, which is cool. What's your ideas of starting season 2?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's the big question. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I thought that I kind of want to know what people want to see next. So, like, if there's anybody, you know, you've got a really amazing fan base. You know, if anybody out there now who's listening to this looks at it and sees what they like, sees what they don't like, those kind of comments would be fantastic for me to hear, so I kind of know what direction to go in next. I can say that it's pretty much impossible for me to ever do what I did again, because of the years of dedication and the amount of money that I pumped into producing it. So you know well, right? Like, it's just got a lot of layers. It's got the graphics, it's got the narration, it's got the subtitles, it's got sound correction. The
production quality of RunAway Japan is incredible. I think for this, and this is your first time producing your own series, right?
Correct. First production, first direction.
It's remarkable work, and the amount of love and affection that you put into it, to grooming it with the animations, with the subtitles that you can see in Japanese for viewers here. It's really extraordinary to me to see the amount of work that you put in with the transitions here. It's incredible. I think that makes it more of an adventure, a really professionally made adventure. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to part 2, part 3, season 2, season 3, to see more of what you can do. We've reached the end of it.
Let's hope we keep going. I think instead of me doing like another, 50-day adventure, put us on the map. This is what we're capable of doing now. And I think what I want to do next is it doesn't have to be a season of adventure. I want to make more content for YouTube, for a YouTube fan base. And I want my family to be able to be a part of that. So, Keiji did amazing in the video that we'll see later, where we did the Sabakaido together. I've got a newborn, I've got a little 3-month baby, so he can hopefully grow through the ranks and come with me on some more adventures. So it would be nice to be able to continue to be me, live adventures in Japan as I would anyway if I didn't have a camera, and then just share those moments with people who are interested in seeing.
Right. I think that's great. What's your son's your newborn's name? Tao.
His name is Tao.
Cool.
Tao. Yeah, we got Tao and Keiji.
Yeah.
Are you okay, buddy?
So let's get Keiji involved here. Keiji, you are also an adventurer. What places in Japan do you like to go?
Nara.
Nara.
Nara. Oh. What's good about Nara? Because many people don't know where Nara is. So tell us something about Nara.
So Nara is like Japanese.
It's an old capital, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's very Japanesey. It's a very Japanesey city, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my grandma is there.
And your grandma's there?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And what's there? Is there any animals?
Deer.
Deer. Yeah. Yeah, we've been to Nara a lot of times, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
I also really like Nara. Nara is a lovely size, It's a smaller city than the big Osaka and maybe even Kyoto and Tokyo. Oh, Nara's a lovely size, and it's very, very cultural.
Yeah, Nara also. That's also where they have the guy who's making the mochi really fast. Nakatani-san, I think, is in Nakatani-do.
They have a lot of old
festivals in Nara. Yeah. Yeah, I've only scratched the surface of Nara. You can spend a week, 2 weeks, a month there and just hike around outside of where the tourist areas are, the tourist places, the temples and shrines. The whole prefecture, that whole area of Nara it's extraordinary to explore.
What people probably don't know, I'm seeing is kayaking at the moment, but when we first saw the video today, and I was hiking, right, deep in the mountains in Wakayama. Well, that trail leads us through Wakayama Prefecture into Nara Prefecture. So when people think, anybody that does know a bit about Japan has always been here and visited places. When we think of Nara, we do think of that old capital. We think of Todaiji Temple. We think of the deers. But half of Nara is also forest, mountains. We ended in a place called Yoshino, which probably nobody's ever heard of, but that has some of the best sakura
Yoshinoyama.
in probably all of Japan, all of the world.
Mount Yoshino. Yeah, Yoshinoyama. #1 spot for cherry blossoms in Japan. Nara.
Yeah, incredible place.
Yeah, what is this we're looking on the screen here, Dave? We see some kayaking.
Yeah, this is the most adventurous and hardest, most stupid thing to try and do.
I love stupid things to do.
Of the whole series. So, nobody watching ever try and do that. That's the first point. We'd been going now for we'd reached the 11th episode. We'd done 7 days. We're coming up to the end, and we're thinking, how do we end this epic journey in the most epic way that we could? So we were actually asking people on social media to vote. Where do you want us to go next? And we'd always give them 3 options. And so I came up with this idea. We're in Tottori. I thought, well, we could go to Shimane, but that's just next door. Like, I could walk to Shimane, and that's not very exciting. And then I noticed that Shimane has this big island, or group of islands called the Oki Islands. So I'm like, let's make the endpoint the Oki Islands. And okay, so how are we going to get there using only physical means? That means I can't take the ferry, right? So my only choices are I swim, and that would end really badly, or kayak. So then I start researching. It's 45 kilometers in a straight line, which you can't do in a kayak, especially when it's choppy. So you tend to do this like zigzag movement, right? So it's probably going to be about 60 kilometers of kayaking. Can that be done in a day? I start doing my research. Well, it could be done, but it's pretty close to the limit of human capabilities, I think, especially as I'm not a professional kayaker. You know, I have experience. But what the hell? It's RunAway, right? We give it a go. So we hired a fisherman to take the camera crew, or the rest of the team we had, and they kind of followed us in this little boat.
This is a serious production. This is serious.
It's the real thing, huh? I mean, we could have done it on our own, but the thing is, then we would have no shots like this, right? We'd have only had GoPro shots from the boat, so you wouldn't have been able to get any perspective of what we were doing. And also, like, if anything had gone wrong, in the middle of that kayak, you're more than 20 kilometers from any land, right? And also, you can't navigate.
Right.
So when you get to the middle, you can't see anything. It's just water. So it's so easy to go off course. So many times the fishing boat would just be on loudspeaker going, nigi, 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 hidari, hidari, just kind of re-pointing us in the way that we need. So, John, it took 9 hours.
Wow.
We were just kayaking constantly.
I'm watching the end here.
Sometimes
you guys look like you're beat up.
Oh, we were messed up, mate. My biggest problem was because I looked like this idiot in a bow tie, right? And I didn't put on a wetsuit or anything. I just have a shirt, and so you're constantly getting wet from the spray of the water. So even it wasn't a particularly cold day, by the end of it, 9 hours of being in just a wet shirt. Like I was shaking at the end. You'll see me trying to eat a banana, and I'm shaking. And
this is quite.
I'm looking at this. Duncan was such. He's so tough.
These are the co-reporter, the co-stars on the show.
Yeah, right. And it just so happens that he can do graphic design. He does a lot of the motion graphics we see in the show. He can edit. He shoots. And he can do probably more than 100 press-ups right now. Just drop down and give me 100. He's a seriously fit, strong guy. So if you're going to have anybody in your kayak, you probably want him, right?
We want Duncan. More Duncan. What was the most... I get lots of stories. I want to get Keiji involved, and we're going to switch away from RunAway Japan. Again, you can go and see RunAway Japan right here. RunAway Japan on YouTube. There's 5 hours of content, which is crazy. And there's only a couple of thousand of views per episode, which is even crazier. This thing should have hundreds of thousands of views. So Yeah. Start from episode 1, and you can work through the entire series and follow Dean as he goes. You started at Mount Fuji, and you go all the way down to Totori, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Meandering on his own human power towards the goal, and it's even the ending was pretty emotional. I remember that's the one when I'm not gonna ruin it, but it was. I like the ending of the series too, so you're gonna want to watch to the end.
Oh yeah.
It's touching. It's a different way to see Japan than just through travel shows by incorporating adventure and exercise and using your own body. That's another way to travel. That's another way to have an adventure, and I think that's your show inspires that. There's no one way to see a country, but this is one way. I think I don't kayak to the island, or don't try to do something too crazy unless you're a professional. But thinking of crazy things to do is my favorite way to have a goal, a funny goal, or why are you here again? I went to Darjeeling. I went to India just to drink tea. I wanted to sit in Darjeeling and look over the Himalayas and sip tea. So I traveled overland from Beijing all the way down to Darjeeling. And when I arrived in Darjeeling and was just sipping that tea, it had so much more meaning to me because I'd worked really hard to get there. And I think when you watch your series, you are also watching it and working with Dean and Duncan to get to the end, and you feel this elation at the end, just like whenever you reach a goal. That's what makes this series great, and I cannot wait for season 2. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
And with Keiji, more Keiji adventures.
Yeah, yes. So big up to the rest of the team as well. So there's Natalie, Megan, and Tim, who you also see appearing in the show. And we look like Power Rangers, right? I'm red, they're blue, green, yellow, and pink. And
we got Power Rangers right? Going now.
We're all and actually, probably we will see Duncan back pretty soon. I think me and Duncan are thinking now about ideas, and then this is my new vice captain, right?
We got Keiji in there. Let's take a look at Keiji now. I want you guys to stick to the end because we're going to be talking about our favorite places to visit in Japan. It might not be in the show. It might be something that's personal. We're going to talk about this, but I want to show you the video of where Keiji and let me change the media source here. Where Keiji and here it is. Good. All right.
Your video is going to pop up here, and then you can see that, and you can see what
82-kilometer adventure on the Sabakaido. There's KJ on the screen. It's a 12-second delay for you. I saw KJ on the screen. There he is. I saw him.
Oh. There you go. Oh, I see Dean and Duncan on the screen.
Oh, really? Oh, I see KJ and Dean adventure.
Yeah.
Sabakaido.
He's gonna come.
And maybe there's a delay on the YouTube screen, but.
There he is. Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
good memories, right?
KG and Dean. So tell us a little bit about this episode and what's going on, and why you wanted to hike the Sabakaido together.
When did we do this? What do you know? A month ago? Was it? I don't think it was like a year ago. Something like that.
Year and a half.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh. So you can see how fast he changes. It's so cute when I watch this now because he was so little. And he's doing his sketches, and so it started off really as just maybe this is what I want RunAway to be. Like I wanted to go and do this, and I wanted to see how this experience would be for Keiji. We have a pretty unique life together anyway because he's a Japanese boy but growing up with an English dad in Japan, and so he's bicultural and bilingual. There's Daniel, yeah, and. So I wanted to take him on this adventure. I can't take him on a kayak trip to the Oki Islands, right? And I can't take him on a 50-day adventure, but we could possibly do a 3-day hiking/camping trip. And it's safe enough that I could have him along with me. I could look after him in that kind of environment. So we set off to do the Sabakaido, and I thought traditionally the Saba Kaido, Saba is mackerel, Kaido is road, so it's the mackerel road, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's all about, can you, traditionally people would take the mackerel fresh from the coast of Japan, and they would, oh my God, it looks so tasty, right? And they would take it all the way to Kyoto. So we wanted to repeat the steps of the people from ancient times, and instead of taking a fresh fish, we took a can of mackerel, because it was a little bit, I didn't think we were going to be able to complete the journey in just a day, so I thought I better take a can, otherwise my fish might get smelly. Nah, we took a can, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And so the guy that you can see on the screen with me is called Daniel. He's walked the route maybe 20 times, you know. He used to live in Kyoto, and he knows the route so well, so he's our advisor. We go to Kyoto, we find out, we see the market and where they sell this fish, we find out all the backstory.
This is Nishiki Market. And then we're like, I did an Only in Japan episode here with Kevin Riley.
Yeah. And I think anybody that's been to Japan's probably been here, right? Everyone goes to Kyoto and everybody goes to Nishiki. So we find out all about the history and the culture of Saba coming from the coast of Japan. And then we put ourselves to the test. We head out there and we get ready for our epic journey. But there's a twist, right? Because do you remember something happened with the weather?
What happened?
Mm-hmm. The weather was raining like every day.
Yeah.
So half a week, and then finally it stopped, and we started our journey in Daimonji Mountain.
Oh yeah, and we went to Daimonji Mountain there in Kyoto. That's what you're seeing here. Yeah, and as Keiji's right, it's just the heavens opened. We went out to do this trip, and the heavens opened, and it was like, okay, it's going to rain for like 6 days consecutively, heavily, and that would just make the route really like difficult, but probably dangerous as well. So I thought we can't do it. And so where did we go instead? We had already driven over to Kyoto. So we couldn't begin the journey. So we decided to drive around Fukui. Yeah. Do you remember anything that we saw in Fukui?
Yeah.
What?
We ate like Saba.
Yeah, we ate the Saba.
Stabbed on a stick.
Stabbed on a stick.
And it was sashimi.
Sashimi, yeah.
Yeah.
And what else did we do?
And what? We got allowed to service station, hotel,
dinosaur,
and dinosaur museum.
What museum?
Dinosaur museum! I love that place. That's the best dinosaur museum in Japan by far, hands down. It's the best.
Yeah.
And that museum actually looked a bit like a jellyfish.
The museum looked like a giant jellyfish, huh?
Or a giant rugby ball.
A giant rugby ball. Yeah, it's a really neat space, huh? It's a massive building, and most people haven't even heard of Fukui Prefecture, but yeah, it's the dinosaur capital of Japan. Lots of fossils from there. And hence, they have a dinosaur museum, which I know that you've been to as well,
I went there when I was hitchhiking. In fact, I talked with the curator of the museum, and he let me film. So there's a Only in Japan Go live stream where I'm walking around the dinosaur museum, which is pretty cool. So you can go, if you're, where's the camera? If you go back to Only in Japan to my hitchhiking days, it's the world's best dinosaur museum. I think it's what the episode's called. It's pretty cool. As some scruffy dude hitchhiking walks around in an orange jacket. It's unique experience.
It was pretty fun because when we watched the hitchhiking video together, we were in the living room sitting there on the sofa watching your hitchhiking video, and then a lot of the places you went to, I'd either been to with RunAway, or when you went through Fukui, like we'd been there together. So like Keiji's like, oh, it's the dinosaur museum, we've been there, and you remember you see the T-Rex and stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was moving.
Yeah, and the food, like a dinosaur-themed food.
Yeah, the cafe was pretty
cool. Dinosaur coffee, maybe. A dinosaur latte or something like that. Yeah.
That was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, it's really nice when the experiences overlap.
And it was almost stormy. And like.
It was seriously stormy.
Raining and.
Some of the heaviest rain I've ever seen,
we're seeing it right now in the video. The rain at the temple there. You know,
right.
It's wow. But the rain is beautiful. The rain really is beautiful, and that's a shame that it was raining, Keiji, because the playground at the Dinosaur Museum is fantastic. There's a massive Brontosaurus that you can climb on. It looks like an Indiana Jones obstacle course right behind the museum. So you got to go back to Fukui now for that. Just the playground. It's the most epic, awesome playground that I never played on because I was too big. They wouldn't let me play. I tried. They said no. And why would you want to, you freaky adult? They said that to me.
If
really?
you do it, right?
Not really.
You could do it, send John a video. And then he's going to be like, yeah, look, I achieved a life goal through Keiji.
Yeah, maybe when Tao's about 3 years old, he's going to enjoy like crazy.
Yeah, you guys can both go.
He's a sweet.
You can both go.
He's going to take it up.
Yeah, Fukui is one of the prefectures that we don't know a lot about. I remember Obama City was really famous when President Obama was elected in 2008, and people were going, why would they name a city after the president? Well, you know what? It was named that 1,000 years ago, and Obama was one of the most prosperous cities in Japan because this is where a lot of the trade was coming in. The first elephants that came to Japan came through Obama Port. A lot of the fish, a lot of the goods that went to the emperor in Kyoto came through Obama Port. So it was one of the most prosperous cities in Japan. And as trade moved to the United States and across the Pacific, that's when the ports on the other side started to get more popular. Kobe, and well, Kobe was always a pretty big port. Nagasaki, of course, but Edo was not until the United States and the trade across the Pacific became more popular. But yeah, Fukui is like this lost prefecture, I think, with so much history has a lot of things that Kyoto has, but just on a different scale, and they're older and more authentic, and that's I gotta go. We both gotta go back, get some saba, some mackerel.
Right. Yeah. I mean, did you see that temple that we were looking around? Like, no one's ever even heard of this temple, you know. I'm embarrassed now because I can't think of the name as well. But watch the video and you can find out what that is. I just couldn't believe that a place that spectacular with a Buddha, which is almost the same size as the one in Nara, and nobody knows about it, right?
It's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger.
Yeah, 50 meters is that temple, and 30 meters is Nara.
Wow.
If Keiji's right, then I'm extremely impressed. Keiji's claiming it's actually bigger than the one in Nara.
That is not possible, but it's pretty cool the way Keiji says it. I think that one is the biggest wooden structure in the world, but in Nara. But it's
that's right.
Maybe this is second. But I'll tell you what. One of the most beautiful sights, waterfalls, and nature scenes that I've seen in Japan is a waterfall shrine in Fukui in the Wakasu area that Kanai and I went to last year. And there's so many things that I want to go back and cover in Fukui. It's just hard to get there. There's no Shinkansen. You have to either go to Kanazawa and then take a local train, or you can come around to Maibara or to Kyoto and then take a local train into Fukui. There's no... the best way is the Shinkansen to Kyoto and then go up by local train. And that's also a blessing because it keeps it so pristine, so beautiful and untouristy, that area. And this is the next segment I want to get into. What is your favorite... Now, Dean, you, not just through NHK, you've been traveling a lot. The one thing that a lot of you don't know about Dean, and I'm sorry that it took 40 minutes for me to talk about, was after the Great Tohoku earthquake and the Kumamoto earthquake, Dean was one of the first people to go and help. I believe the Kumamoto earthquake, I remember seeing your van get down there and you were helping people with the reconstruction. I remember I was following on I didn't know you personally, but I was following you on Facebook, all of your the things. And I believe when you came to Japan was when the Great Tohoku earthquake hit, right? Around that time?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, partially correct. I lived in Japan before the earthquake happened, but for a year. It was kind of like Dean comes to model in Japan and then he moves on. And I was actually headed for LA and to go and do the Actors Dream in Hollywood. And March 2011, the earthquake kind of flipped everything upside down because that happened. I only just left Japan, and I still had so many friends here and I decided to go back and do a little volunteer mission, head up to Tohoku and see if I could help out a little bit. I thought I have super limited Japanese and a nice able body, so surely I can be of help. And so, I headed back, and I thought I was going there for maybe 2 weeks or a month, and I ended up staying about 9 up in Tohoku. And I would come back to Tokyo, occasionally do events, raise money, tell everybody to give me everything that they could, and then I'd go back with a huge truck and then give it all away. And it's good time in my life.
Those were really tough times. It was that earthquake that the reason why I started only in Japan. So many things in Japan were really tough at that time. And I remember it was you. I had so many friends that were up there. Mike Connolly, Jamie. He was in charge of It's Just Mud, I believe. The Foreign Volunteers Japan.
Yeah, it's not just mud.
A lot of charitable groups.
Yeah.
People were so giving of themselves. They didn't really... they just gave. My friend Mike Connolly was using his own money, and he didn't have a lot of it, to fund truck runs, paying for the gasoline and the rental trucks, running stuff for Second Harvest. I believe we went on a couple of trips. Mihonoseki and oh wow, we were all over Tohoku, delivering food and stuff. It was a tough time. And then I think it was that same volunteerism that led you to Kumamoto after the earthquake, to help to rebuild there. And I was there not too long ago, just about 6 months ago, and they still have some damage from that earthquake. They never really fully recovered, which is something that we have to remember here in Japan. We always have natural disasters, things that just knock us out all the time. It can happen at a moment's notice where people will lose everything. And the stories that come out of that are just heartbreaking. And the longer you live here, the more you get used to it too, which is really tough. What was that like, living up in Tohoku after the earthquake for 9 months?
It was the time in my life where I could do something like that, right? I was young. At that time I didn't have kids. I wasn't married, and so I could kind of dedicate my life to doing that. And I didn't do it just because I'm a really, really nice person and I'm very, very charitable. I enjoyed it. It was a hard time for a lot of people, but for me, it's some of the best memories I have in Japan, because I felt like I was doing something really worthy of being alive. I was living my life in a way that was helping people. I felt like I was making a difference, and of course, I was learning all the time from doing that. And I'm so grateful that I could just have that experience in Japan.
Yeah, that was going up there a few times. That was really tough for me to see that too, but I got a chance to meet with a lot of the volunteers, make new friends. And when you're working together doing something like volunteering, it really develops strong friendships with other people. That whole year is a year that will stay with all of us. A lot of my foreign friends left. There weren't that many that were here through 2011. Most of them, they were called fly genes. They are foreigners that flew away. And the ones that stayed.
Do you have a name for what's the name for the opposite of that?
I don't. Is there one? I don't know.
I don't know, because I think that'd be the way around.
I just remember the fly genes, the people who had free flights to go back to Europe, or didn't want to stick around because of the uncertainty. And then there were people that said, "This is my home. I'm not going anywhere, and my home needs me," and volunteered and helped and did what they could do. And I'm not really good with a hammer. I hit myself more than I hit the nail. So that's why only in Japan was what I could do to help, to try to bring more attention to the cultures and the misunderstandings and show what the real underbelly of Japan was. So that's what I've been doing to help Japan. And now with the coronavirus, I think we might have to restart. So it's gonna be hard to get tourists to come back to Japan a little bit.
I feel like there's some similarities to the disaster. It's coming up to 10 years next March, right? And something very similar is happening now. It's like this reset button. Everybody's rethinking what are we doing now, and people like you and me consider where we're living, and is Japan the country for the rest of our life? And you get the people who are short-termers leave, and the people that are long-termers stick it out. And I'm sure your content just continues to kind of educate people about Japan and inspire people to come and visit.
Yeah, despite the earthquakes. Keiji, have you been in a big earthquake before?
Sit up, buddy. Have you been in a big earthquake?
No.
No.
Just small ones.
Yeah.
Just small.
He has the child ability. Oh,
I have one.
Go on.
My biggest one was Shindoroku.
Shindoroku. So it's about a magnitude maybe 5
or 6.
Magnitude
6. Oh, Shindo magnitude. He's also my translator. So
Shindo's the Japanese scale for strength. In the West, we use magnitude. In Japan, we have another scale that goes up to 7. And 6 is pretty strong though, and that'll give you a good shake. When you grow up with it as a kid, it's not as scary.
Was Nara?
Yeah, Nara.
With my grandma in the morning. Oh. When my grandma was putting butter on the bread.
Putting butter on the bread. That's hard to do in an earthquake, isn't it?
It is very hard.
Oh, was it scary?
Keiji.
Yeah.
Keiji, we're getting some questions here, and this is the part of the live stream, the last 10 minutes, where we're going to give you a chance to talk with, if you're watching, where's the camera here? I got 2 cameras going on. This is the part of the live stream. If you have some questions for Dean and Keiji, let's give them some questions about living in Japan, traveling in Japan. What's it like, traveling with kids? Whatever you have on your mind, you can go ahead and let us know. We want to hear, and Keiji will be able to answer your questions. Keiji, what's it like?
Yeah.
So Keiji's not going to school right now, but he is, sort of. What are you doing now, Keiji?
Yeah.
Are you going to school?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because of this coronavirus.
But were you meant to start school?
Yeah.
So what are you doing now?
Keiji's 7, by the way.
Homeschooling. So what do you learn?
Maths, English, hiragana, online drill.
Online drill. He has the school that he was meant
Right.
to go to sent him some online test kind of thing. Just some maths equations and some Japanese language stuff, and he tends to whiz through that. I think he's a pretty smart kid. He gets through his iPad stuff pretty quickly, and then he has it pretty difficult, because then I throw this massive English book at him, and I'm like, okay, well that's what the kids who are 7 years old are learning now in the States, so you need to be able to do that, and you need to be able to do the Japanese at the same time. So
And everything else,
Yeah.
maths.
Nah, tough life, huh?
And basically, that's sometimes wrong.
Sometimes we decide that the questions aren't very clear. We're like,
Disney,
Yeah.
Keiji, Disneyland or Disney Sea? Which one do you like better?
oh, that's a good question.
Disney Sea.
Ooh.
Why Disney Sea?
Because there's a lot of things that are fast and spinning around. And it's really fun place. So
He picks the more kind of adult of the two, right? And we were there not so long ago, right?
yeah, not long ago.
Why were we there?
Just
Was that your birthday or something?
maybe.
Yeah. Wasn't that? Yeah, I think that was a 6-year-old birthday treat to go to
Okay.
Disney Sea. Yeah.
Now I'm turning to 7, which is super fast.
Sorry, Dean. Most of the
I
questions
saw-
are going to Keiji,
Yeah.
not to you.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Keiji, what do you want to be when you grow up? YouTuber.
The doctor. And the
YouTuber.
Oh, it's a pretty unique concept. A doctor /
Doctor
YouTuber.
YouTuber. That sounds pretty cool.
But I'm already doing
You already
YouTube.
The YouTuber came first. I like that a lot.
Oh.
I like that a lot. So his dream job would be what? So you want to be a doctor? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. We need more of those, like now. Seriously. So Keiji, do you speak Japanese? 日本語も話せるでしょ?
話せる。
何のた
Now mostly speaking English because Daddy teach me a lot of English more often than Japanese right now.
But if you want to speak to your mum, would you use Japanese?
Mm,
What language do we use at home?
for me, ほとんど English.
Hotondo English. I think he defines exactly how we speak because we're mixing the languages constantly. So my wife will speak in Japanese. I will generally speak in English, but we will listen to the languages in the opposite tongue. So, and then Cage is probably the best at just kind of mixing it up. If he sees a Western face, he'll speak English to them. If he sees a Japanese face, he'll speak Japanese. And he's been doing that for years. And it didn't matter if that was somebody like you, John, that came to Keiji and said, "Oh, konnichiwa, hajimemashite," he would say, "Hi, nice to meet you." He would just instantly like switch. He doesn't care what language you're speaking to him, and he just cares that you're a gaijin, and therefore I'm going to speak to you. In your
Keiji,
Gaikokujin.
英語話せない外国人もいるよ。いるよ。
どうしよう。
まあ顔が、まあ、外人の顔だけどさ、英語話せない。どうする？どうしますか？I said some people look like foreigners, but they might not be able to speak English. So sometimes you can get in a little bit of trouble. 困るでしょ？どうする？はははは。Daniel writes in here, hello from Charlotte, North Carolina, for Dean. Are you fluent in Japanese? And if not, is Keiji motivating you to become fluent? Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, good question. Yeah, I'm totally fluent in Japanese.
Really?
No, you're not. Not at all.
No, conversational Japanese.
This is the high level.
This
right?
is the high level.
And you're this level.
This level.
Keiji's keeping it real.
He can poke holes all over my Japanese because I can't read and write like you, and I always make really silly mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Nah. But I get by. I can speak Japanese enough to kind of live my life here. And is Keiji motivating? Like, absolutely true. Yeah. By having Keiji in my life, and then my wife is Japanese. After meeting them, my Japanese got much better. And at some point, and maybe now, because we have more time than ever before because of the coronavirus, it's time to sit down with Keiji, and I will finally study hiragana, the Japanese alphabet. And this will be my...
Japanese alphabet?
Yeah, Japanese alphabet. And you'll be my teacher.
No, mommy.
No, you.
Yeah, that's good. Keiji, you teach your dad more Japanese. He needs to work on his conversational skills. More Japanese, maybe. I don't know.
I need the help. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, Kanai and I will speak more Japanese, but sometimes I'll say something in Japanese. Now she responds in English. She's forcing it. Where, look, you don't want to teach me English. And I said, this is Japan. In Japan, we speak Japanese. And then she's breaking that convention. She's, no, we speak in English. It's like, oh, it's very hard. It's very hard.
Oh. Ultimately, I feel like they win, because their English just gets so good, and our Japanese just plateaus, and we can't take it to the next level. So we always sound like we're a small child, no matter how good our Japanese becomes, because we always have this weird foreign accent.
I'm looking around to see Kanai's not watching. Yeah, blame the wife. It's the wife's fault. Blame the wife.
Keiji, can you do the impression of me speaking Japanese?
What?
An impression of Dean speaking Japanese. Dean no Nihongo, donna hanashikata? Dean no hanashikata. Papa no hanashikata.
Can you do that? Hey, you can say
it.
Oh, I say it. He's always saying to me, so Japanese is spoken extremely flat. and I tend to have my English accent on the Japanese, so I'll say konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Boku wa Dean desu. Hajimemashite. And so it's Japanese language, but it's got all these like ups and downs in it. Sounds ridiculous. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Oh. And then we sometimes I say stupid things like Ohio gozaimasu.
でもパパの日本語かわいいでしょちょっとかわいいでしょパパの日本語かわいい
What about
Kawaii?
silly?
It's silly. Yeah. They say my Japanese is silly too. It's not as cool. Papa.
We try so hard for years to get to our level, and people just smile at us and go, which just means basically, you're trying hard, but you haven't mastered it.
And then they'll say the most insulting thing, your chopstick skills are so good. Like, what? People tell me, really? After 23 years, I can pluck a fly from the sky. I probably could if you give me some time. It's a Karate Kid thing.
We should try that.
Is there anything that we forgot to tell the people, Dean? I've seen some questions. Not a lot of questions came in. People are shy. They're gun shy here. Where is the one? This is from Jonathan Chong. Thank you. Where's the one place you want to go in Japan and haven't gone to? That's like a desire or a bucket list. It's good. That's Jonathan. That's deep.
Have you got some? Do you have somewhere you really want to go in Japan? Or it could be something that you haven't done and wanted to do. Like if you were going to make a YouTube video now with me, what would you want to do?
Like, I've never done doing. Not never done, but
for a long time.
Yeah.
What is it?
Fishing.
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 Oh, so I think Keiji really wants to do activities. So I will try to make that as exciting as I can if we're making it into a content. So if he hasn't done fishing, I will take him somewhere in Japan, which is amazing. Maybe even back to Tohoku and get one of the fishing boats with the fishermen that I met back in the day, and we'd make a video like that. So
Iwate Prefecture is really beautiful for that. Iwate up there, and Aomori. Miyagi's pretty good, and Tohoku's perfect for fishing.
I haven't been to Akita Prefecture. You probably, I think you were there in your.
I was there not too long ago. Oh, we were in Yamagata. We went to Ginzan Onsen in January. Akita's beautiful too. Ogahanto, the peninsula area up there, stunning. Yeah. How about you, Dean? Where do you want to go?
I think I'm down to like 2 prefectures that I haven't been to. So one of them is Akita, and the other one is Kochi.
You have not been to Kochi? Oh, that's so wrong. That's so wrong.
And you know the funny thing is last year I went on a mission to go to Kochi because like it's so wrong that I haven't been. I've got to tick that off. So it's on an island called Shikoku, which is one of the smaller of the islands of Japan. Right before you got Hokkaido and Honshu, and then down here you got Shikoku. Right?
Like biggest.
It's big, isn't it, up there? So anyway, you got Shikoku, and it's in 4 prefectures, and I've been to 3 of them, and I start driving from Nara, I go across the Kobe, over the bridge, into Shikoku, and I'm heading down to Kochi, and I get, like, almost at the border, and then kind of run out of time and realize if I'm going to get this rent-a-car back in time and get my flight back to Tokyo, I need to kind of turn around and head back. And so we had this great holiday doing all of these things on the way to Kochi, and then all the way back, but missed actually getting to Kochi. So it still eludes me.
Yeah,
one day I will go there.
It's not easy to get there. There's no Shinkansen. You have to fly to Kochi.
You have to really want to go there.
You pretty much have to say, I'm going to make Kochi my vacation spot, and settle in there for a week. But it's so worth it. The Shimano River. It's the longest undammed river. It's such a natural place, Kochi Prefecture. I think I have 2 videos on the other channel and a dozen live streams from Kochi. Shikoku in general is so awesome. Shikoku.
Good place for adventures.
If you've been to Japan maybe 2 or 3 times before and you haven't been to Shikoku, that is extremely high on my list. Start in Ehime, maybe start in Matsuyama, Dogo Onsen, based on Sento Chihiro, the Spirited Away anime, this beautiful bathhouse, and just make your way around Shikoku and go into the center, into that mysterious, steamy, jungle-like area that's so pristine. The food, the people, it's just, wow, what am I doing in Tokyo? I don't even know why we live here, you know?
Well,
Let's live in the jungle of Japan.
When I was making season 1 and people were saying, okay, what's season 2 going to be? A lot of the time I said, well, perhaps it will be the 88 temples, which would take me all the way around Shikoku. And I would still love to do that. I think that's something that even maybe me and Keiji could do, or Keiji could do part of it. And yeah, a whole loop around Shikoku Island would be really interesting to do. And maybe I could live stream every day on that walk or something. Yeah, maybe that's what's next. I don't know.
Yeah. Marty, thank you so much. We are keeping it up. We're at an hour now. Have you ever traveled with your wife? Do you travel with a family? How do you get around? By car? By train? These are some of the...
Yeah, I totally do travel with the family these days a lot. Yeah, generally it's just my job that takes me to places without them. So when I'm shooting model, acting, TV presenter kind of stuff, I'll head off on my own, and then when I have time as a family, we'll head off and we will throw in a little YouTube video if we can. So when I did Sabakaido, it was just me and him. Yeah, maybe next time we all go away, it'll be 4 of us. We'll see. And I do have the car. So these days, because of having kids, we tend to do car travel. So I'm a big eco guy, so I've got my electric hybrid. And I drive around in that, and it's nice and big, loads of space for luggage and camping gear and stuff like that. So it's fun. That's a kind of our way to get around.
So Short 2 Please writes in here, and Nasha Broad wrote in the link to RunAway Japan. So if you want to go check out the series, it's pretty awesome. Short 2 Please writes in here, what is the one thing that inspires, I wouldn't even say Westerner, anybody to live in Japan? What inspired you to live in Japan, Dean?
I think that's just what the universe kind of had in store for me. You know, I never had a deliberate thing where I said, you know what, I'm going to live my life in Japan. I was just going with the flow of life and going with the current. And I traveled to a lot of countries before I came to Japan. And I did think that Japan was going to be 3 months. My 3 months became a year. Because of the volunteering, I came back for a second time, and that's what then really grabbed me. And Japan, in many ways, is an easy place to live. People are very kind to you and welcoming to you. And if you can get past the language barrier, then it's a really superb place to live your life.
KG.
And so yeah, I feel like Japan chose me as much as I chose Japan.
KG, you know? Do you like Japan or? Dean, where are you from again? From the UK.
From the UK, and KG's been to the UK, haven't you?
Yeah, one time, right?
One time.
Yeah. Do you like the Do you like the UK or Japan? Where do you want to live? Japan or?
Both of them is really unique.
He's going to be a diplomat. That's a very good answer. You can't go wrong. They're both good.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
They're both good.
I can't pick one over the other.
Yeah.
Oh. What was good?
Sunday roast. Sunday roast.
What about you?
What was different?
Like, everyone is so active.
Oh, everyone's so active. Oh. People are pretty outgoing, I guess. So if you come from Japan, which is people are fairly, I don't know, shy and conservative most of the time. I guess if you go from Keiji being around Japanese people most of the time to going to England, it's a bit like, wow, you know, people are loud. They speak to each other randomly at bus stops. You know, they don't just all wait patiently in line. You know, people go, oh, it's lovely weather, isn't it? Right? And they talk a lot like me.
That's great. Thank you guys both so much for staying. You're a warrior, Keiji. You've been able to hang on for an entire hour. Good job.
Yay.
1 hour on YouTube. That's like worth 100 points out of 1,000. So you got to keep going. I got to keep going.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you are.
Good job, guys. Thanks so much. Once again, this is Dean Newcombe, and his son Keiji. You can see them on RunAway Japan, which is a fantastic show that will keep you busy for 5 hours. And we're looking forward to seeing more things. And Dean, you're going to come on Only in Japan again, right? We'll see you again.
Oh yeah, if you have
We will be back. There were some videos on the other channel in Ibaraki where we drove around Wagyu farms and food challenges last year about at this time, actually. And we'll be back. Maybe next climbing Mount Fuji off season would be something I'd like to do.
I'd love to do that.
There's nobody there now. Social isolation. There's nobody there.
Yeah, at the top of Fuji. That's about as isolated as you can get.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later after the show finishes.
Thanks so much, John.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Bye-bye.
That's great. I'm really happy to have a chance to talk with my friend Dean and his son Keiji. They came and visited me when I won the 1 million subscriber award at the YouTube Fan Fest, and they came as my guest. And Dean took some pictures, and that was the last time I saw them. They live on the other side of town, so I don't get a chance to hang out with them. But through the media like this, we get a chance to meet up with our friends. Guess what? So I'm going to take some of your questions now, but I also want to say on Saturday night, I'm going to have Miyu on the show again. Miyu is somebody who was on Only in Japan about 2 years ago, Only in Japan Go, in a segment we called Ask Miyu. She's a high school girl living in Tottori Prefecture. Now she went to college. 2 years later, no, I think that's 3 years later, she's going to be on the show again. She's grown a lot, and she went to the United States and studied English, so she's even better. So the Ask Miyu segment will return for part 2. Long time no see Miyu, but she's going to be answering questions about Japanese life in Osaka, in university, in Tottori where she lives, and take some of the questions. And I got a lot of questions for her too, because I haven't seen her in a while. She was away when I was visiting her family. You can see. Here's the video. That's the last time we talked, and we took questions from all of you. So Ask Miyu is back on Saturday night, which is Saturday morning, I believe, in the United States. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And I also have my friend Ruth Jarman on Monday, which is Sunday night in the United States. We're going to be doing a meetup with Ruth, a friend of mine, and talking about Niigata Prefecture as well as Kochi Prefecture and some of the other places, golfing in Japan, some of the things that Ruth likes to talk about. We get a chance to talk about that on Monday morning, which is Sunday night in the U.S., so it's things that you can bookmark. We have a lot of more interviews coming up. But I want to once again thank Dean Newcombe from RunAway Japan. RunAway meaning a play on words, I believe, running and traveling, and runway, which is what is part of his job. We didn't talk a lot about it, but he's actually not just a TV reporter, but he also does modeling in Japan. And Kanai and I have walked around Japan, walked around Tokyo, and have seen him on billboards. It's pretty cool. He keeps in pretty good shape. He's a good friend of mine, and we'll be working together on several projects this year. So yeah, you'll see some more of Dean. When I told you about some of the stuff that he did up in Tohoku and down in Kumamoto, it really warms my heart to know that I have inspirational friends like that, and to see what they're doing down there. It inspires you and makes you do more as well. And I'm just really lucky and blessed to have Dean as my friend. So thank you, Dean, for the time. Definitely go check out his channel and give him a subscription, and leave a comment on the episodes after you watch them. Leaving a comment on the video, he gets those notifications, and he will respond. Like, I'm pretty sure he'll respond to your questions and comments, and give him some encouragement to do season 2 of his show. I'm gonna stay on for another 5 minutes or so, and It says here rough audio. Sorry about that. I'm still working on fixing up the mic. It's just not a good mic. It could be something could have been busted from it. I don't know. I'll have to check it on the gain and stuff here. Hold on. Maybe that's a little bit better. Is it? I don't know. Go ahead if you want. You guys can ask me some questions. Wagyu in a can today. Adam, we're going to do that tomorrow because I wanted to do this with Dean today. Kanai will be doing Wagyu for lunch tomorrow. We just ordered a kaiseki bento, which cost us an arm and a leg, and that'll be coming next week because we had to order it about 5 days in advance. So that's going to take some time. Marty writes in how Jaya is doing. Jaya is YouTuber Tokyo Llama, Llama. He's doing good. He's got his front yard all set up, and the scaffolding, I believe, is coming down, or it's down. And Kanai and I will go up there as soon as the state of emergency is lifted, or the numbers are down enough where we can rent a car and go up there. We would love to do that, to go check out how Jaya is doing. But he's doing well. I talked to him on Line, which is a messaging app that we have here in Japan, and just a few days ago, and he's doing good. Up where he lives, he has a lot more mobility because he's out in the countryside, but he's fine, and his wife and his family's doing good. Thanks for asking him about him. Ask Miyu, how is this canned Wagyu? I don't know, Brendan. I'll ask her a lot of questions. The headsets is Audio Technica. Audio Technica. They were El Cheapos, about $40, I think. I actually was just chatting with Paolo about 2 nights ago to congratulate him. They're waiting, expecting a son or a daughter. I'm not sure. He didn't tell me. I didn't ask, but he's going to have a family in a few weeks, I believe. So I'm really happy to see Paolo and doing well in this isolation. Ruth is Hana's mother. Yes. So Hana's mom. That's really, meeting with Hana's mom should be the title. Hana's mom will be with us, and I knew Hana's mom before I knew Hana, and she's a super positive person with a more extensive look on Japan than me, which is crazy. She's been here longer and traveled maybe even more than me. A lot of the things that her job entails is going from prefecture to prefecture, and we went to Niigata's Sado Island to see Kodo, the taiko group, and we've been there 2-3 times together now, as well as Miyazaki and Kochi. So it's nice to work with Ruth, and I'm really happy to get a chance to talk to her on Monday. I'll try to put that live stream before you go to bed in the East Coast, so you can put in the reminder and join us. I want to set these OBS live streams up a little bit earlier. Yeah, Ruth is the liveliest woman you'll ever meet in your entire life. She's like a cheerleader. It's incredible. You cannot help not being affected in a positive way by Ruth. And the latest live stream we did was the abandoned houses about 2.5 months ago on Sado Island with Jaya. That was an amazing live stream. Maybe I can try to pull this up. But I'm going to be really happy to have a chance to talk with her and bring her on the live stream. We'll probably pull up some of those videos from our days when life was different. I wish I could go back to those days. That was before Hokkaido. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow, 104,000 people watched that video. That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Here, I'm putting the link right there, so if you guys can go and check that out. It would be pretty cool to get Hana in on that live stream as well. Yeah. Thanks, guys, so much. Keiji has a sibling. This is Maziar Vadier. Keiji has a new brother, a younger brother named Tao, T-A-O, and it's a pretty cool name. It's a strong boy's name, and he's just like a pineapple size. He's not quite big enough to be on the stream yet, but he's growing fast, and he was born just a couple of months ago, I believe, February. So Dean's family's growing too, and yeah, Kanai and I maybe we will too. I'm not gonna speculate at all. When even when she does get pregnant, when somebody gets pregnant, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to jinx it. That's another thing. You don't talk about that kind of stuff when it happens. Give it time. You gotta make sure. How far does that part of Sado? How does far that part of Sado? Sado is it requires a ferry ride. It's a butterfly-shaped island in Niigata that is a really mysterious place that I think everybody should go to in the summer. It's like it turns into the Earth celebration. People camping on the beach with taiko drums. It's one of the most surreal experiences. This year, I believe the Earth Festival is still going on, and I'll be going there. And we're waiting now to see how they're going to do it, because that's not until like the middle to end of August. So I definitely want to go out to Sarugashima as soon as possible. Yeah. I always loved Sarugashima. Yeah, only in Japan Junior. I was pretty happy when Keiji said that he also wants to be a YouTuber. That was cool. And he came to when I received the 1 million award from YouTube to the Fan Fest, and his eyes were so lit up. And he puts me on the same level as Kamen Rider, who was also there, because he has a YouTube channel. And he said, John is the same level as Kamen Rider. I was like, whoa, that's pretty big. Hey, Antonio Bisinga Vlogs, thank you so much for that. From the Philippines, appreciate it. Jennifer's doing well. She's also in self-isolation with her babies. And I don't know, we'll see if we can get her on the show. I'm not sure. Yeah, all my friends are doing some great things. Kevin is also keeping busy with recipes, cooking in his studio. You got to keep life going. Try to keep natural, the way things were before, as long as possible, to keep a normal life despite having to stay home. You can have a little bit of fun as well. And thanks to the miracle of OBS and the internet and YouTube, we can have so many people here. So I'm so thankful. We had about 500-600 people watching, and that makes me really happy. What part of Japan do you hope to visit when restrictions are more relaxed? I want to get back up to Aomori. I also want to go to Tottori Prefecture, and Shimane down there. And I want to get back to Niigata, and I definitely want to get to Kochi and Miyazaki. There's no place that I don't want to go. Hokkaido I'm okay with, because I was just there. But I'm really in love with Kochi, because there's so much stuff inside of there that I want to explore a little bit more. And the fact that I have a lot of relationships there helps. Miyazaki, the food there is so good. I want to get some more on Miyazaki Wagyu. I want to get more Wagyu episodes, farm to table type of stuff. I want to get into some tofu and some other stuff, miso and things like that. So I'm working on things that are out there. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the questions that you're asking. Last one. One more question for the road. Anybody? Bueller. Bueller. Kanai and I are just starting our day. We woke up a little bit late. We've been waking up later and later. I think you get a little lazy in self-isolation, just a little. But it's important to get back into a routine. This is the part where you can write in where you're watching from if you want. The anime opening should be finished in a week. The window that the animators gave me was May 10th to 23rd, that it would be completely finished. And that's when they'll be launching the new channel. I can't do it without the animated opening, so I've been waiting for that. And I'm going to give the animators as much time. It's not like I can go out and film episodes out on the road anyways. I do have about a dozen episodes that I can edit and put on to the new channel, but I'm going to wait for that animated opening. It's really close, and it looks so good. I've picked the music out. We have the background sounds into it. Peter said he's going to help me with a new title call, so it's going to be pretty cool. The music is different, by the way. I put in a little bit better music, but we'll find a way to have those intro beats and stuff. Those are just a flute and royalty-free intro beats that put together. I didn't spend a lot of time, but I had to compose everything myself. When I started, I had like no money. I was in debt, like way in debt. You just made do with what you had. Peter's voice for the new opening still. He's going to do only in Japan, but not in the same way. I can tell you that much, all right? It'll be a new one, but it's not going to be the same way. We want to make it more interesting, let's just say. We've been talking about this. More Peter than me. More Peter than me. People are jogging. Matthew, thank you for that. People are jogging, but a lot of them are now wearing masks because TV showed that after you breathe hard, the moisture from your breath goes quite far back, like about 5 meters, which is about 25 feet. It's pretty far. So I haven't been jogging at peak times. I try to jog at weird times, like middle afternoon or really late at night. But I can't run as much because I sprained my ankle and I've been putting on weight really fast, which is stinks. The animated opening with hat. Animated opening has hat. We had to go with hat, right? You can't. We had to do hat. I was looking for a picture of it, so they put a hat on there. So you guys might like that. It's again, Michael, between the 10th, which is really soon, and the 23rd. I'm just gonna give the animators a cushion. There's no reason to push them to work harder. I can't I can't go out and produce new videos, so I'm gonna have to release what I have, and I'm not sure when I can go out and film again. So I'm not gonna push them. There's no reason to. They're gonna do their best that they can do. Nobody likes that people, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Like, just, what am I going to say? They know that I'm breathing down their neck. I'm looking at them right now. Thanks, guys. So we're going to end it right here. If you have any comments or questions, leave me a comment below. I really appreciate it because I do look at these every day. And if it's a question, you'll find that I'm pretty receptive right now because we're all inside. Hit the thumbs up button if you can. Give me a like, because liking it means that you like this format. And right now we're at 320 likes. Way too little for me to say that this is a good format. I'm kind of worried about it, actually. So hit the like button. And if we can get over 1,000, then I'll do another one of these. We do have Ask Miyu, and we have Ruth, and we got another friend that I think is going to be lined up for the end of next week. So we'll keep it going. We got a ton of live streams, and Kanai and I will have delivery food next week. We took a break from food this week, and we'll be back on it next week. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are in the world. That was a motorbike delivery truck. I'm really hungry. Bye, guys.